Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time on this channel, you're welcome. I am A.H.P. I'm an author and I also do business. Now today's video is for that part of my channel where we talk about real life issues, and I'm going to be sharing something that I believe we need to know. So this is whether you are a self-employed person, whether you are a individual person, whether you are a parent with children in school, both primary school and secondary school. I think this is something that we need to know. And also, if you are a believer in Jesus Christ, like you are basically a Christian, okay, born again Christian, you need to know this, okay? Now, last month I began to see some things in my dream which I believe are significant for now and for the days to come if we don't prepare now, if we don't begin to put things in place. And so the title of this video is going to be called The Consequence. Consequence? Okay, I'll figure out the title. But it's to do with poverty, what will happen when we don't do anything about our finances, okay? If we don't do anything about our finances. Okay, so last month I had this dream, and in this dream, I was in a car, we were in a taxi, and myself and another preacher who I know with her assistant, okay? And we were going home, I believe. So when we finally arrived to our destination, I came out, everything was fine, and I believe I paid the driver and continued, going towards the direction I was going. And I left them. And then in front of me were like these animals, right? Like lions, and I left them some food. Okay, I was carrying some food and I put it down on the ground. And I heard the pastor who I was traveling with call me. He was like, come. And then I went to her. And then it's like I realized she wanted me to pay the driver because she didn't have money on her to pay the driver. And obviously she couldn't leave because she couldn't pay the driver. So I said to her in the dream, the poor you have with you always. And this is a scripture, okay? This is something that Jesus said. I'll find out where it says. says it, and I'll link it in the description box of this video for those of you who are believers to read. Okay. And I woke up and I was like, okay, this clearly is showing the distinction between people in the body of Christ, because a lot of people within the church world just think that, we should just pray about money and God will give us money. And they have a very, not a negative mindset towards money, but they have a very naive mindset towards money and towards wealth. And it's because most of them are financially illiterate, just like majority of people, even the unbelievers included. Okay, so they depend on God by just praying to God for money. However, we are in that time more than ever that we can't just pray for money, because when you pray for money, God will give you an idea that will bring forth money to you. God is not going to drop money from heaven down to earth for you. Okay? God will give you an idea, however, for you to carry out, or He will give you a direction for you to do that will bring you money, whether it's for you to do business, for you to sell something, for you to work. Okay, He'll give you an idea, a strategy that will bring you the income, but you must put in that work for you to see the income, for you to see the wealth. Okay, now it brings me to the second point. A few a few weeks ago, or a week ago, yeah, a week ago, I had these two other dreams. Now, in the first dream, I saw this young man. Okay, before I saw him, I was in what looked like Africa. Okay, and I was looking at cash points. I needed money to withdraw money because I needed something to eat. And then all the banks were closed, and the cash machine, there was no place for me to withdraw money. It's like they've been made smaller. You couldn't basically withdraw money from there. And then my card just looked useless. Like I couldn't make payments with card. So I went to I saw a stall where they were selling sandwiches. So I went to the person who was selling sandwiches, and I didn't know that they were selling sandwiches. So I asked them, "Is this for sale?" And the person said yes. And then I realized I couldn't take it because I didn't have money. I didn't have cash with me. And then I went to a till within the hotel where the person was selling sandwiches, and they couldn't help me. They had no food, and the card was of no benefit to me. And then I saw everybody else around me doing the same thing. They wanted cash, but they couldn't take out cash. They didn't have any cash, like the banks were not open, and so they couldn't purchase anything. And then I noticed like this young man from Kenya, he was just looking even on the floor, like looking for food and looking for money to be able to get some food, and he couldn't. Obviously, there was no money on the floor. Okay, and then I woke up, and then I don't know whether it's the same day or a few days later, I had this another dream. And in this dream, I saw my son. Okay, I had gone to pick up my son in the gym, and I saw his school like door, the gates, they shut it. The caretaker was shutting it, but they were outside and they were eating, and the food didn't look great or anything. So my son didn't even eat the food, and he came and he was like, "Oh, you can take the food," and he just left the food. And then we continue walking, and he disappeared in the dream. Like God showed me another part of the dream. Now, in this other part of the dream, I was now going into a secondary school. I was in a secondary school and literally walking around within the secondary school. First, no, first I entered primary school, and within the primary school, it smelled like wee. It was dirty. It was disgusting. And then I went um, into their classroom. It was messy. And all the children were like, Miss, 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 Miss. They were calling me. And I was like, how can I get out of here? And then I went to the kitchen where they were cooking food. And guess what? I said to them, what is this? They were mixing some food. Some food was already mixed. And the meat was done. Well, what looked like meat. And I said to them, what is this? And they said, oh, they'll tell you it's meat. One of the chefs said, oh, they'll tell you it's meat, but it's made from whatever, really. And I looked at it and I was just like, oh, disgusted. And I came out, and as I was coming out, I saw another section of the dream. And in that section, there was a person who was in control, like controlling the whole neighborhood. And this person had what you call a scepter. Okay, Google a scepter if you don't know what a scepter is. It's basically what kings carry. Okay, it's a symbol of authority. And this one had glass on top of his scepter, and he was coming, and he came towards me, and um, I was trying to get away from him quickly. And then I got away from him quickly, and I opened the door, and I saw families, they were in their homes. And then I closed the door. And then this same guy with the scepter pushed me into the bathroom, and there was another person who was with him, I believe, because he looked like they were working together, and was trying to hold me down so that this person with the scepter could sexually assault me. And I said to him, no, you can't do it. And I pushed him away from me, and I pushed the person who was with him away from me as well. And then he tried to bribe me with perfumes. Okay. On the way, I had taken the top of his scepter off, and I had hidden it, and he was upset that the top of his scepter was missing. But he didn't realize that I was the one who took it. So then when he tried to give me the perfume, I took it. I took the perfumes, and I pushed him away from me. And that's how I woke up from the dream. And then when I woke up from the dream, I asked God, I was like, God, why are you showing me this? These dreams? Like, why are you showing me these dreams? Like, what do they mean? And he was like, that's poverty. That is poverty. And that's the consequence of poverty. Like if you are not in a wealthy state at the moment and in the days to come, okay, not only are you not going to be able to pay for your basics, okay, such things as travel, you will not also be able to pay for food, okay, your necessities, things like food. And your children will also suffer because the school system is also failing because of the current economic crisis. That's why you see teachers, they're always doing, what's it called? They're always doing, not riots, but they would always doing strikes because they're not being paid enough for their livelihood at home, because schools don't really have money, and schools in the UK especially, students don't pay for school. They just pay for their meals, they just pay for the uniform if the school has a uniform shop. But majority of children, their families don't even pay for food because they can't afford it. Okay, so they'll end up eating whatever, being given whatever, because the schools can't afford decent school meals. Okay, the schools won't be able to do upkeep of the environment for the children to study in decent classrooms. Okay, so it's gonna look a mess. It's gonna be a mess. Okay, it's gonna be a mess, and the only way for us to overcome that is to be able to be wealthy, have enough sufficient finance in place where we can take our children to good schools and also be able to pay for our daily upkeep like food and also for our transport, you know. Otherwise, it's just whether you're a believer or an unbeliever, okay, you need to have sufficient funds. You need sufficient cash flow, something that will keep bringing you money in. And having a job is not enough. Having a job is not enough. You need another form of income as well. On if you choose to do a 9 to 5, you need another form of income, passive income that allows you to have more money and also invest in assets that allow you to grow your income, because inflation is taking people's money, it's taking people's savings, and it's not enough. 9 to 5 salaries are no longer enough. So that is what I'll leave with you. Some of the things that I do personally for my income is to convert my active income into passive income, like my business. So I take my active income and I buy and I buy products that I can sell for my business. So that gives me constant cash flow from my customers buying. And then I have another form of income, which is basically investing into assets. At the moment, I buy silver. Okay, I buy silver, and for myself and also for my children, and that's another form of income that I have for long term. And then I'm working towards my books, which I'll convert into ebooks, which will give me passive income where I don't basically have to go out and do anything. People can just buy and download it straight to their devices and read and use, because some of them are not just reading books, but they are also recipe books and garden agricultural books. So yeah, those are some of the things that I'm doing personally to upgrade my income. Working class are going to be the new poor, and the poor are going to be even in a worse state unless you take action to change your financial status. Okay, so that's going to be the impact of the current economic crisis on individuals and families, as well as schools alike. That is it, guys. I shall leave you here, and I'll see you in the next video. Let me know in the comment section what you are actively doing to change your financial status. Okay, let me know. If you don't share too much, because obviously you have to protect your protect some things for your own safety. Don't share too much in the comment section, but share enough that you can share. Okay, but don't share too much, that will put you at risk, if you know what I mean. That's it, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.